shall I try and be entertaining? No. How's it going anyway? Any questions for me?
Yeah, how you holding up? Still
Oh man, this is the hardest one I've ever done. But it's also the one I've had most notice of that I'm running, and the one that's been best planned in terms of the format, because I've really tried to get a format that matches what other established games use. And it's a bit new to some people. They're like, how's this? Because we haven't used a really established format before, as in established elsewhere. So now we're finally doing that. Some people are confused by it, but as we do more of these kind of things in the future, not necessarily, well, it won't be World Championships for another year, but there could be other events to the Swiss format. Everyone will get used to how it all works. So, but I am tired. I am really tired. And that's why some things are going slowly, because I'm double and triple checking, because I'm just, in case I've made a mistake.
Yeah.
So going slow because people keep disappearing from my IRC or not turning up and so on, but that's a different matter.
Alright, just started a game here. Players we hadn't seen before, and it's Moonstalker versus Gwen.
Alright, I'm going to have to hop out for a second and think a bit, so you can mute me, or I'll mute myself from this, actually.
Yeah, I'll keep you on the line and just hop back in whenever you feel like it.
Alright, bye for now.
Okay, see you later. Is that the Wolven Moonstalker or Undead? Well, I guess it's Undead. So are both of these players, they were 1-1 before. Arteia from the ROK Guild, that's the Korean guild, right? Is it Republic of Korea? Is that the name? Is that what it stands for? Anyway, and Vince from BP. We're both 1-1 before this round started. So Saltcutter lost to this Moonstalker in a previous tournament. So he's playing the nerfed Grave Resistance. He now has an HP cost to play. Gambit will take care of the Tormentor. Tormentor is pretty much a vanilla 3-4 in this matchup, right? Gwen doesn't have a lot of kill abilities. Well, I guess some do carry... what is it? Surprise... surprise something. Surprise delivery, yeah. But they usually keep those for the heroes. Weevil Tip Crossbow. It was popular for a couple of weeks, but don't see it that much anymore. It removes durability from your opponent's weapon and armors. You hit them. Yeah, it'd be nice if it took out some tombstone durability. So Vince has 2 turns of stealth. Decides to hide a Shadow Knight. That's a pretty awesome draw power, right? 6 cards in hand. Retreat. Alright. Does not have an ally to draw with the Shadow Knight anymore. He won't. Will he hide those 2? I don't think he will. How much do you think the Grave Resistance nerf affected the metagame? Like, before the Grave Resistance nerf, pretty much everybody was running it. Are we going to get Retreat is OP again? I don't know.
I'm back now, by the way. Don't know if you want to unmute me on the other thing. We can talk about Grave Resistance if you want.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Am I live?
Yep.
Hello, yeah. So Grave Resistance, people said that isn't a good enough nerf, but actually it is kind of missing from some decks. At least there's not much talk about it being OP anymore that I've heard. So maybe that nerf was enough, actually.
Although, yeah, like Nick's saying, there was the Grave Resistance nerf and also the Death from Above nerf that really affected the Undead deck. But still, people were playing Undead in Zaladar and Banebow, and we don't see them anymore.
Yeah, it could be, though, because we buffed something else that was more preferable. It's so delicate, isn't it? It is like trying to juggle 550 things. Well, maybe, yeah. 550 things. I know in each deck there's only about 190-ish choices of cards that can go in, but in terms of the pool, so the space for making decks and the combinations, it's great, isn't it? It's great for the player.
Yeah, it sure is.
It is. My background's in maths or as Americans might call it, math and statistics and obviously computing. So trying to juggle all the balance stuff, it is a lovely complex problem to try and tackle, and sometimes we get it wrong. Sometimes, like in the case of Grave Resistance, we say put sustain 1 on it, and everyone says, well, that ain't much for nerf, that ain't gonna harm it at all, which means therefore we might as well put it on, because if everyone's saying that's not even enough cost, at least put that on first.
Yeah. Because it was everywhere before that.
If everyone's saying that won't hurt at all, then clearly it's undercosted. If it can still be good with that on, so that's why that goes on. That's one rationale. There was the whole thing with the Aetherborn Wisp a long time ago, with it costing 2, and people said do various stuff. In the end, the cost and change something else, and that people still run that card. Not as much, it's not broken, but the general consensus didn't suggest upping the cost and buffing it, because we don't just want to do a straight nerf. I'm wondering about the reactory Harbinger combo, actually. Harbinger combo.
Is it Harbinger or Harbinger?
I think it's a Harbinger.
Okay.
Harbinger of the Lost, yeah. And we'll have to calculate the chance of actually getting that combo, because if it is too good, if the chance is too high, that's quite a lucky thing to get so early.
It did kill me yesterday.
It killed. Why you should run Ice Storm or something? Wrong here. Arcane Burst. No, you can't play that early. Boomerang would have hit somebody.
Yeah, Boomerang.
Or Platinum Chainmail, that would have blocked both of them. They both cost 3, don't they? There's options. The thing is, if people realise, hey, that's so good, it's worth gambling, then the meta might evolve to handle that. The meta just moves around so much. At the same time, some people the crowd as a whole can be quite slow to cotton onto things, and suddenly everyone's crying that something's OP, even though it's been the same card for a year. It's funny. I love it.
Yeah.
It's great.
Well, I guess it's a sign that everything is pretty close in terms of power level, because as soon as you shift something, everyone runs one way or the other, because it doesn't take a whole lot to change the game.
I'll give you an exclusive as to what's on our watch list and what's happening with Shattered Fates. So there will be some more balance changes. We thought it was balanced enough to run the World Championships. And now, based on this is where everybody brings their best decks. We see the best players, hopefully, duking it out. And we can then analyse the results of this and see if there are any cards that are in every deck and so on. So we can use this really as like final input to the balancing. And the cards that are on our watch list, actually I shouldn't suggest them, because people might put them in their decks for Europe. I don't want to say what the cards are that we think are OP, so actually I won't say anything at this point. But you got an exclusive in terms of, there is a bit more balance coming, and it's based on World Championships.
So, what do you think of the spread of heroes so far? I didn't quite look at today, but it seems like it's a lot of hunters and mages, a bit of
There's
warriors.
a lot of variety. I mean, there is only ever 7 classes anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I've heard you. Were you actually showing a Gwen match?
Yeah, it's the second Gwen we've seen today.
All right, so a quick scan over this. Zaladar, Eladwen, Loest, Majaya, Zana. So that's already 5. Victor, 6. Amber, 7. Boris, 8. Serena, 9. Garth, 10. Elementalis, 11. Baduruu, 12. Banebo, have I said that yet? No. 13. Aramia, 14. Moonstalker, 15. Gravebone, if I said Gravebone yet? No. 16. There's at least 16 there. I haven't said Gwen yet, have I? 17.
You can check that.
That's half the heroes. Yeah, I'll rejig my Excel sheet and I'll be able to see exactly how many there are. But that's brilliant. If half the heroes in the game are showing up, then that's awesome. Oh, there's a Nishaven as well, so that's more than half the heroes in the game now.
Oh yeah, there's even a Nishaven. That's cool.
Yeah. I might have brought one actually. If I was playing, if I knew that there was loads and loads of Zaladars, then I'm wondering whether the Nishaven Wisp deck might be. I wouldn't mind bringing that. I like that a lot. Voltar's Wisp, the electric synergy. I mean, if you knew there was going to be so much Zaladar, then that's nice. And actually, Grave Resistance, that kind of screws up Zaladar as well. So.
Yeah, it does. I guess that was my plan yesterday when I played Gargoyles and Phoenix Uragon. Just play hard to kill allies to stump Zaladar. So yeah, actually we're watching Gravebone deck and it's a 50-something card deck against Aramia. Aramia? Man, never say those names out loud. It's always awkward when you try to say them. And yeah, do you think there's a difference in power level between like the Shattered Fates heroes and the original heroes? Because we see the original heroes a lot in tournaments.
Well, let's have a quick scan of the new ones. Loest, Garth, Aramia. That's 3. Any other new ones showing up? The thing is, people might be going with what they know. I don't think that's all of the equation, and there probably is some weakness to some of the new ones.
We've still it's also easier for you guys to design cards for heroes that have been around for like 3 years than for some.
Yeah, we want to make the primary aim with the new ones was to make them at least balanced across themselves if we make, say, class decks for them. But hopefully and also the class cards we made were primarily aimed at the new heroes as well. Say 7 out of 10 were aimed at them to at least make them work somewhat. And then we also had to try and make the tribes work. I'm not sure whether some of the heroes are as weak as people say. So we'll have to see. And the thing is, if there are some just very strong old ones that everybody knows, then even if there is a decent new one, they might just go with what they know because it's a risk.
Yeah.
And we can scan over them now and talk about the potential power of them if you wanted. Why we might not have seen them. If you want to speculate on that.
Yeah, sorry, I was reading chat. Yeah, well.
So Tala, we saw some Talas earlier, okay?
Yeah,
there's none today, but there was some Talas earlier. Aramia's in. Ithan isn't in. I don't think the right combo's been found for him yet. And I think he can be pretty good. I think with all these Loest around, he could have been good with a Knight of Anaxio, for example. But if people fear that mind control, then buffing Knight of Anaxio is a bit of a risk.
Yeah, well, Tower. Like, buffing allies has always been risky with removal being so effective and cheap in Shadow Era. And everybody's running it, you know. Don't have... All decks have cheap removal.
Yeah, I was going to... Well, you can't bounce him at least. Threbin was around earlier today. I'm surprised he's not in this one because actually he's pretty decent. Maybe it's a metacal why he's not here. Vess, I think she can be strong, but in general we haven't seen many Vess decks. Raker, the consensus seems to be people think that Raker isn't strong enough. I really enjoyed playing her with Ravagers. And Portal decks as well. So I reckon some of these are just so new, people haven't had a chance to really brew for them. Also, if the perception is they're weak, then do you even bother brewing for them? Classic example, Logan, everyone thought he was weak. Everyone said, he's the worst hero. I said, come on then, try your best to make a deck. And then Preybird made a decent one, and then suddenly it shifted and people said, actually, Logan ain't that bad. You know, so you got to give him a chance. When I make decks, I always try and make decks for the heroes that people say are useless, because that directs my efforts towards something. I find that interesting, actually. Skirvox, okay, I mean, he might have an issue.
Well, he was too good at some point, wasn't he?
He used to draw a card as well, yeah. There hasn't been long enough really to try him out with some of the new cards, because we seriously buffed the Ravagers, didn't we? So there may well be a nice thing going there. Especially like Skirvox, he could run an item, you play Cleric, they blow up your item, your Cleric grows. So Cleric's kind of there to benefit from people blowing up your own stuff as well that you depend on. So there could be a build in there somewhere. I'm kind of surprised Bloodfang's not around. But maybe it's just there are better alternatives people have spotted for this, or they know stuff better. Praxix, okay, he's generally slated by a lot of people, so maybe that's why he's not there. And Rotham, maybe we'll see him in the last one, I don't know. But yeah, in general, though, people know the old ones better. They know the ins and outs. In a way, that's the reason to bring a new one, because your opponents won't know them as well either. It's a chance to surprise, isn't it? There was a post on the forum recently about luck, and I was saying, well, there's three main types of luck. I don't know if you agree with this, but you can comment in a second. But there's the luck of the matchup. When you go into a game, you don't know what you'll face. Okay, you can try and do a meta call to influence that. So that's kind of the luck aspect versus the meta. You can control that luck. Then you've got the luck of the draw. You want to find a certain card. Does it come up or not? And you can influence that by making a consistent deck and so on. But that could be at the expense of flexibility for the meta if the meta's so wide. And then finally, there's the luck of something I've just forgotten. Oh, the luck of whether your opponent just does something stupid. You might be lucky and they might mess up.
Yeah, if they don't draw their outs or they...
And you can influence that by surprising them. Because if everything's predictable, I know we've talked about this before in the PFG, that you like to be able to think ahead. And if decks are too varied, you're not able to predict that so well. So in a way, it becomes a bit more lucky. But if you build diversity, and it really throws people off. I had a great game with Samuel J yesterday where I played the anthology Loest against his, what was it? Might have been Threbin, actually. Ghostmaker Threbin. And he just kept being surprised by the cards I was throwing out. I didn't say it was the anthology Loest at the time, but because that deck is so varied, quite a lot of one-offs, you know, at the right time, I threw out a Laerian Diplomat to take away, I think, Sandworm's armor. And other cards like that, he was like, whoa, where are you getting all this stuff from? So, you know, variety there can throw people off, and bringing a new hero could throw people off, but maybe it's too much of a risk. I don't know. If I was playing, I'd bring a surprise one, of course, because I play for the building and the fun. Anyway, I think I better hop off now, in case there's some tournament running-y type stuff to deal with. I might be back on later, though.
All right.
Thanks very much for having me. Cheers.
My pleasure. Right. So Yasami did not mention that you beat him, but I let it slide because he's nice jumping by and we don't want to scare him to come back. You're all getting static. That's GDC, that's Sending a static. Alright, so 55 card Gravebone, that was okay, yeah, it was him. Now he's muted. Alright. So Slicky, he had at least one win with his oh, my bad. He was 0-2. Or he's 0-2 now. It's Nishaven. The only Nishaven in this tournament. So yeah, like GD said, we have at least like 16 or 17 different heroes. But a lot of mages. There's a Majaya. Bjork is playing Majaya. Is he playing his tower deck? There's one Janna. One Elementalist. We might see more of Maxi. Full of guards. Otherwise, yeah, it's Amber, Boris, Baduruu. Lots of Baduruus. Victor, Banebow, Zaladar. Check Maxi again. On game 2 pretty quickly. Okay, I kind of lost track of time here. We're into round... Which round are we in? Round 3. Okay, round 3 I started. Yeah, Tala. I really like her. I think she's one of the powerful new heroes for sure. But personally, I was afraid of Legend Rises and potentially Blackguard. But I guess I didn't see many so far either yesterday or today. Yeah, this is round 3, so this is a pretty long tournament. Still have 3 more hours to go. Okay, so Maxi's facing another Loest, obviously. And now he has board control. I don't know that I like playing Amulet on an empty board. Actually, I know that I don't like that. But especially if you haven't used your ability at least once. And now Maxi even knows that he won't be facing a Supernova this turn. Yeah, Lucas, we'll watch your game. What's your IGN? BP LucasBlitz? Is this in your last round? Yeah, never a good sign when you're a mage and you're down on HP. You can't use Supernova to come back. I'd like to use Loest ability like Eladwen, so you use Supernova to wipe the board, then use your ability to take back the board by removing your opponent's ally and playing your own. Yeah, discard Elementalist might be pretty good in this metagame with all the it can easily get things out of direct damage range. That was pretty quick once again. Full health? Is he on full health? No, he lost. Oh, sorry, I keep hitting my mic with my head. Game 2, be interesting. Oh yeah, if you're the Gwen player, are you Gwen or Loest? Yes, you're Loest. On 2-1 against against a Gwen player, which should be tailored to beat mages. Yeah, general rush style Eladwen is also pretty good. That's another deck I can't play to save my life. I mean, I see Agenel and I see other people get a very good results with it, but when I play it, I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. And I've played my fair share of Eladwen. Actually, in Dark Prophecies, it was my second most effective deck. It was Rush Eladwen first, then Weenie Elementalist with like 7 2-drops and a bunch of 3-drops, and Kirby Monsters, and well, I dropped Kirby Monsters for Bloodthirsty and Belladonna. I know it's not that complicated, but for some reason it just doesn't work for me. I like Phoenix against Gwen. I played my Gravebone against Gwen. It's one of my favorite cards. Really reduces the effectiveness of Seeker. And a Lost that's running Leyline Nexus. Alright. I think a lot of Lost decides to not run item destruction and rely on their ability. Of weenies. At least she can kill both sides of Uragon, I guess. Yeah, I guess you could predict a lot of Spell Eater bans in this match. This metagame, I mean. That's what Lucas saying. He's running LLN for the Spell Eater bans. So here Gart is not Gart, but Gwen is stuck on No card. Few cards in hand. Draw. 15 HP. And Soul Seeker won't even heal her that much. She's gonna go for the face here. Right, he lost his rapid fire. The ending is supposed to be good, according to Lucas, so we're counting on you. Fire's back on. Okay, he's standing by his word. Should be good. Josh, there wasn't a lot of really different things. We saw Gravebone and Nish, but they got destroyed. And GDC was on for a bit. Talked about his view on the balance. Said there were gonna be net trap. Wow, see that very often. We're gonna be some balance changes after the World Championships. Okay, so Gwen is on 3. Make that 1. Seeker will do some good work here. Get him back up to 7. GDC would be proud to see someone bring a net trap the World Championships. Familiar. Here we see while net trap might not be that good. Had it been a snare trap, Rain Delay would have done some great work. And yeah, Familiar takes the game. It's actually pretty good now that they buffed it to affect 3 cost allies. At the top of the standing. Okay, Streetsahead is undefeated. So is his opponent, Popkorn. Both are at 2-0 coming into this. Maxi is still undefeated at 3-0 with his Elementalist. And there are a bunch of guys at 1, 2, 5, 6, 7 that are still on 2-0. Also, Sam is hanging in there at 2-1. Lucas at 2-1 also. Was reborn, right? Lots of BP and TJ, top half the table. So Streets is playing Undead Baduruu. That's interesting, we haven't seen that yet. And it's pretty good against mages. Is Tormentor online? I missed what the first what did he mill with the Harbinger? Stand corrected. Yeah, healing and tormentors. Probably there's a Durkan somewhere in there. Against direct damage based heroes is gonna be pretty good. Yeah, I agree. Undead Baduruu is pretty good in the current meta. Actually, I've switched my Resource Destruction Baduruu to play a bunch of undead allies, Frostmare, DMT, and Durkan. Decides to go for the Tormentor before it gets online. Baduruu is gonna heal himself back up to full health almost and draw, and he has the board with a very tough to kill ally for Eladwen. This looks like a pretty decent deck. And once again, Amulet does absolutely nothing. I pick on it a bit too much, I guess, but it's just not my card. Yeah, I agree, Deract. I mean, when Cutlass was a hunter card, Resource Destruction Baduruu was insane. You'd have your opponent top decking on turn 4 like in every game. But yeah, it was terrible with Gwen. Thanks to Praybird for highlighting that and getting Cutlass the Cutlass switch to rogues only. Oh yeah, I don't really see how Eladwen can make it out of this. Actually take 5-10 damage from Hurler and DC. Just wait for a weapon next turn to finish her. Not much of a death race. One now, yeah, grave resistance to top it off. One contestant has a knee down and both shoes laced tied together. Pretty cool, pretty good deck here. Very good meta call for Streetsahead. Oh yeah, that she could do. So is Popkorn playing Rush Eladwen? You see any Chris's? Still think the best Eladwen deck is the all-out, almost only Call of the Crystals Rush decks. Chris, Puin, Aldon, Puddle, Tio, Fireball, Lightning Strike, Nova, Bad Santa, and Heirloom. Nip says he does have Chris. There's no out here. Maybe if she has retreats, she can survive a turn, but this is over. Was that game 1 for them? What is Samu to Death playing? He always has pretty good decks. Samsung. He's also on Baduruu. Anyone seen anything interesting? Because honestly, I don't think I'm gonna stream the full 6 hours if we keep seeing the same decks over and over. And I need to install my winter tires before it snows. Victor beat Banebo here. Well, I mean, the variety is good, and I'd like to play in that tournament, but all the decks are pretty much known. So Hachi and Shadows, you're saying? Alright. We'll come back to Sam later. We'll see a live game. So they're on game 3. Victor versus Amber. Oh, what's the record? Shadows is at 2-0, and Hachi is also on 2-0. Maxi and Mip maintain perfect records at 3-0. One of these players will also be able, and here we see our first Spirit Warden. I did consider playing Victor with Spirit Warden also. I didn't play that much. Haven't played that much Victor and Shattered Fates so far, so I didn't want to play a deck I did not. Victor has a pretty good board control here. Both have drawn a bit. Actually, I mean, Warden is good, but I did not see that many Undead or even that many Moonstalkers. How many Moonstalkers do you have? And to be honest, Warden isn't that good against Moonstalker because she can kill it with Now Your Mind, Captured Prey, and Death from Above. Only one Moonstalker. That's Vince. Rax's anti-haste comes through here. Yeah, well, in DP, Victor had no way to win. I mean, he could often just hang in there forever, and then he'd have nothing left in his deck and no way to win. It didn't change much, mind you, but now at least he can take control of the game early with Crusader, Gambit, and Bobcat. You get some both draw and board presence. Yeah. Maybe Amber's running Underdead. Never know. But it does take up a bit of time in the game when someone's using Spirit Warden all the time and you're not gonna get use of your allies in your graveyard anyway. Might run Wizard's Sprayer. That's right. But if you're playing against Sprayer, wasting energy. But yeah, I guess, I mean, can't hold it against someone to use their Spirit Warden. You never know if there's something you did not think about. Spirit Shuriken also helped Victor a bit. That's a lot of weapons for him. One card that I thought was gonna have, what I want to say, more impact, but an impact on the game is Looter's Bottle, like the 1/4 that draws you a card whenever you kill something with it. I mean, maybe Victor or Zaladar could have used it, but obviously other cards are just better. Amber is getting low on HP. There's a first ALR. Using JD before using resources. My Twitter account has never been this active thanks to Mariah. Still don't know how to use that thing. How can I make group in Skype? Whatever. I'm hanging up on you, GDC. Ping me if you want to come back in. So this is pretty tight.